Okay, today I am going to show you guys how I do my glue stick tumblers. I like to use tumblers that are orangey in color. I had a whole bunch of orange ones, but I'm out now. This one's a little orangey, copper. And we're going to paint the middle white. It doesn't matter if you spray paint anything else white. Actually, it kind of helps a little bit. Spray paint my bush here. My husband doesn't kill me. Let it dry for a few minutes. Get my other one. Dry for a few minutes. Well, not even. It's really hot out, probably just a few seconds. Let's see if I could show you. There's little spots here that are not quite, they're white, but they're not all the same white. You really want to try to get it all the same white. If you've ever glittered a white cup, white glitter, you know what I mean. That dry. It's looking good. This one has a lot of dark spots on it. Okay, I'm gonna let these dry. Okay, now that my tumblers are dry, I use matte Mod Podge. I've seen a lot of people asking what kind to use. It's really all the same, especially when you're going to epoxy them anyway. Everything's the same. Get some glue here on my paintbrush. I left it open the other day, so it's kind of hard on the top. There we go. Just basically paint a thin, even coat. Well, not thin. I try to get it as thick as I can. Between tape. It's really important to get as close to the edge as you can. I know the paint is white and the cup is white, so it's a little tricky, but, and I'm a little blind, so it's a little harder for me. And then I'm just going to flatten it out here, or even it, whatever you want to say. Now for the fun part. Make sure you get every spot. Because if you do this well enough, you don't have to do 2 white coats, which is great because white glitter does not go a long way. Make sure I get all my edges. And then sit in front of my fan. I'm gonna do this one next because if the paint is dry, which it sort of is, no, I don't want to do that. I just know that one will take a lot longer to dry. A lot of people ask me what kind of tumblers I use. I use the silver buffalo ones. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that because they were just like, or were they like $1 each a few months ago? And everyone felt different about them because of the rigid edges, which is funny because they are the best cups for this project. Because if you look at my pictures, you could see the rigid edges in all the cups, and on the glue stick and the pencil, I think personally it makes it look real. I know some of the glue sticks, if you go look at one, it has rigid edges where you turn it, and these work perfect for that. And I've seen erasers have rigid edges in them too. Some of them get fancy. And I think it makes it look really cool. But when I run out of silver buffalo cups, I probably just will use Ozark. Or if Sam's Club ever decides to get, what was it, Maker's Mark back, they are my favorite cups. But they are discontinued. So for now, I will use all of the silver buffalo cups that I have, and I just think that they make it look really cool. Everything's personal preference. If I have enough time on my hands, and I know that I'm going to do these one step after another, and not have to let it sit in between a long time, I'll actually paint the ends of my cups orange and let it seriously dry, like even overnight if I can. Let it dry as you can. Sometimes I'll put a little clear on it, on the edges, before I tape off my cup. And that way, so you tape it off, and then paint the middle white, and if you do it quick enough, and your spray paint was dry enough, the tape will not take off any of the orange spray paint. But it doesn't always work, because sometimes, I don't know, it just doesn't always work. So I'm going to let these dry, and be right back. So a lot of people say that they can't get the Mod Podge to be very flat, and they get these bumps. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Literally, the Mod Podge is still very wet. That's it. And it's gone. Gone. like the lightest pat ever. Light. Sometimes I'll pat it too hard or it'll be too much of a bump and you will see the glitter has separated and there's Mod Podge without glitter on it. Just throw some glitter on it. Your Mod Podge is still very wet. And now, oh, there's another one. Because I was rushing. That's because I hate doing 30 ounces. Not my favorite. So they've been drying for a few minutes now. There's no way they're completely dry. But what I like to do is, if this is how I like it, if everything's good, I like to seal it. So I'm going to pull the tape. Get that nice pretty line. Pull my tape. And I'm just going to seal it with acrylic sealer. This is going to sound weird, but I'm going to go into my bathroom here and do it in the shower. Because we just moved in, my husband's going to kill me if I ruin these rugs. So all I did was give it a 2-3 good coats, and I'm gonna let it dry again. I like to pull the tape before I seal it, just because sometimes it gets...
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry. Ignore Alexa, she was not being spoken to. Sometimes it gets sticky and we'll pull up the glitter. So I'm going to spray this real quick. I'm going to pull the tape on this one, and then we're going to let them dry. Okay, here we are. So these are pretty dry now. Take my brush. For Mod Podge, I use paintbrushes. I get them from Walmart in a 3-pack, and I just put them in a glass of water when I'm done. You can't, not leave them in the water because they just wind up getting hard no matter how much you wash them. So I just leave them in the water, and every, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, when they start like breaking apart and getting loose, I just replace them. And I like them better that way. So we're going to go on here. And I like to do the ends, clap it on there, and then take from that and push it up to the line, and then bring it down. So you can see what I'm doing. Push it up, bring it down, and just make sure, because it's really important that you don't leave a gap. Get up in there, pull it down. Get up in there, pull it down. And I do this as thick as I can without making it lumpy. Sometimes I touch the white. I try not to. But you can fix it later if it comes on it. I'll do the top first because it, to me, is the more annoying of the two. So I just like to get it out of the way. Now you see there's orange in my white, but because we sealed it, it comes right off. And that is why I seal my white. So we're gonna do the same thing here. I mean, you could do this part any way that you feel comfortable. I just somehow got comfortable doing it this way. Make sure, well, if you're using Silver Buffalo, you get in all those ridges. We have yellow, orange on there. Oh, can you see it? Probably not. Anyway, there's orange on there. And now there's not, because we sealed it. So you can see this one has its dark spots. I'm going to let it sit here on my little drying rack that I made. You can't see it, but it's here. And then do my other ones. So it dried. I went ahead and did my second coat of orange real quick to save time, and as you can see, it looks great. So I will seal the whole thing again with the spray. I'll let it dry totally, and then I will epoxy this. I will try to start in the center and just epoxy in the center. Even though it's already sealed, it's just how I've gotten used to doing it. And then I'll just, do my ends. Let it dry, and then put my logo in the middle. I made it on Silhouette with, tracing and making other things. I'm not sure if I'm going to sell the logo yet. Oh, I forgot to do that. But I'm definitely considering it. And if you guys have any questions that I didn't answer, let me know.